Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel. The channel is dedicated to people who are trying to heal and recover from narcissistic abuse or similar type of abuse, whether it's sociopath, a cheater, basically emotional and mental psychological abuse. I have personal experience for decades with narcissistic abuse. I have a narcissistic parent, and I have a narcissistic ex-husband. So I want to preface the video by saying that I am not a mental health professional. My channel is based on personal experience and advice, which not to discredit any therapist out there, because I do believe that everybody adds value in their own way. But if there is a therapist who has a degree but no personal experience with narcissistic abuse, I feel like they may not be as helpful or knowledgeable as someone who's been through it. Just real life experience, I feel like, sort of trumps things like that. But again, not to discredit anybody's profession, I think we can all add value in our own way. So with that being said, today I want to talk about narcissists and how they lie. It is a given. They lie. They lie about lying. They lie about who they are, what they are. They lie about their intentions. They'll lie about what they've had to eat. They'll lie about where they've been. They'll lie about whether or not they've cheated on you. They will lie and lie on top of other lies. They will compound lies, and they will continue to lie with no remorse whatsoever. It's like in their fiber. It's in the fiber of their being. It's who they are. They don't have a sense of self. They don't have their own identity, and so they latch onto others and try to basically soak up all your good energy because they don't have any of their own. They don't have anything. They're empty vessels, bottomless pits. Okay? So, I am an empath. I didn't even know what that was until I was well into my adult life. I always just felt like I was overly sensitive, and I didn't know why. I can remember going, and of course, as a side note, when you have a narcissistic parent and you're an empath and you're being told constantly that you're overly sensitive. So I grew up thinking there was something wrong with me, and not knowing how to protect my own energy, not knowing that being an empath is a gift. And it just needs to be, you really need to take heightened precautions about protecting your energy. But I can remember being in my early 20s and going out to a club or a bar or a concert or some venue where there was lots of different people with my friends. And on several occasions, I remember feeling so overwhelmed with a negative feeling that I felt like I needed to just get the hell out of there and go home. Several times. Everyone else is having fun, and I'm feeling like something has just come over me, and I have to go. Something's wrong. It's a sense of doom. And I didn't know why, but now I know it's because I was around so many people. And of course, when you're around that many people, you're bound to be around negative energy. And I was absorbing that. So I know that now. Anyways, that was a little about me, and on to the lying. Narcissists and how they lie. Narcissists, they have to lie because they are constantly changing who they are to try to fit whatever they think the scenario calls for. So, for example, if they're in a relationship with you and you love going to church, or you love spirituality, or you love, I don't know, pick anything under the sky. You love yoga. It doesn't matter what it is. What they do is they will morph into what they think you like so that you will be more prone to attach to them and become close to them and feel like you guys are well matched, so that you will become enmeshed with them, vulnerable, so that you trust them. You think that, oh, wow, you finally found somebody who likes all the same stuff that you like. Isn't that great? They like yoga too. They like this music too. They like going to church too. They, whatever it is, they will portray themselves as your perfect match in order to gain your trust and allow you to become vulnerable with them so that they can then abuse you. It's very sick and twisted. And when you're unsuspecting, when you don't know that that's what their intentions are, you are over the moon thinking again that you found somebody that's just perfect for you, and that's just not the case. Because what will happen is, as soon as you are so wrapped up in them, you're in love, maybe you've moved in together, maybe you're married, maybe you have kids, you're so deep into the relationship, that's when you start to see the mask slip away. That's when little things start happening that don't feel right. They start to devalue you. They become, different. Things are just different, and it just erodes slowly over time like the boiling frog. Until one day you don't even recognize who you're with. You don't recognize yourself. You don't know what happened. You feel like you're in the twilight zone, and you're trying to scramble to try to piece together what has happened, and you're trying to cling on to what was. But because that was all a lie, because it was all fake just to try to get you wrapped up into them, they can't maintain that facade. They can't maintain it because it's not who they are authentically. Authentically, at their core, they're abusers. So they can't keep up the good guy show or the good girl show for too long. They only do it until you are, hooked, basically. Hook, line, and sinker, until they think they've got you right where they want you, trapped or married or pregnant or whatever the case is. That's when you start to see their facade start to chip away, and little by little you start to see them for who they really are. And it's really, really a painful experience. If you've ever been through it, you know what I'm talking about. Narcissists also gaslight, which is also a form of lying, but it's a different form, and it's definitely abuse. So an example is, let's just say they're lying to you about where they were, and you suspect that they were with someone else cheating on you. You don't have proof, but your gut is screaming at you, and that's just what you think. And they're telling you, no, I was over at Robert's house. We were just hanging out playing cards or whatever. And you're saying, no, you weren't. I think you were, out up to no good, and you guys are arguing, and they're just, of course, telling you, no, I don't know why you would think that. I was with Robert. Here, let me call Robert, whatever. And then maybe a little time goes by, and you discover that he was, in fact, lying to you, and he was out with another girl. Maybe somebody saw them together. Maybe you saw something in his phone, or, somehow, some way you got some proof that he was lying, he wasn't with Robert, and he was out with another girl, just as you had suspected. Which, by the way, your intuition is never wrong. Okay? I'll talk about that a little later. But when you have a gut feeling about something, it's right. You don't need any more proof. That's your own inner guidance system, giving you all the truth that you need. But I know that's difficult, because when you're confronting somebody with something and they're not going to be honest with you, you want to have proof, right? So that's difficult. But just so you know, to follow your inner guidance and your gut, because it's never wrong. So now you know that he was up to no good. He wasn't at Robert's house. He was with another girl, just like you thought. So you confront him. Hey, my friend saw you out at the bar with this other girl. She took a picture or whatever. So-and-so saw you. They text me. They didn't know how to tell me, but they came forth. And I know that you weren't with Robert. Now I have proof. And you're confronting them. They will then switch from just flat out lying to you to gaslighting you. And gaslighting, if you're not familiar with that, is they will take what you know to be a reality, what you know to be a fact, maybe you have the proof right in your hand in black and white, they will take that and they will try to convince you that your reality is wrong, that you're not seeing what you're seeing. So gaslighting would look something like, I wasn't out at the bar with a girl. That was Robert's cousin. We just stopped in really quick to, get a bite to eat. Maybe he had gone to the bathroom. I don't know. But I wasn't out with another girl. That was his cousin. So tell your friends to stop trying to spy on me. Obviously, they're jealous of our relationship. That never happened. They never saw me with another girl kissing her or acting lovey-dovey. We just stopped really quick to get something to eat. And maybe when they saw me, Robert had gone to the bathroom. That's what they will do to try to make you question your own reality. Okay? And you will question your reality. You will sit there and think to yourself that you're going crazy. You must be crazy, because they are so accustomed to lying and coming up with stories that sound believable on the spot without even thinking. They'll just spout them right off, that it flows as if they're not lying. They're not nervous. They will tell you a bold-faced lie right to your face and look you in the eye and not even twitch, not sweat. Their heart won't skip a beat. They won't feel any guilt. They will make up a whole story right as they're going along, and it'll sound believable. And so now you're left confused. Now you don't know who to believe. Maybe is your friend jealous? Is she trying to just be shady? And, maybe she's jealous of your relationship. Maybe he's right. And so now you are in your head questioning yourself. But I have news for you. Your initial instinct was spot on. So if you can try to learn to listen to that and not cling so much to what other people are trying to tell you, that will be your guide to freedom. Because when something is going on that's not on the up and up, your gut is going to tell you. You're going to get a gut instinct that something's not right, and it's always right. Your gut instinct is always right. If you think they're lying, they are. If you think they're cheating, they are. And it has nothing to do, I'm not talking about just being paranoid because you've been through some things in the past. That's different. I'm talking about you don't have any reason to mistrust somebody, but you have this nagging gut instinct that something is off, that they're up to something. That is what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a little tug in your gut that something's wrong, something's not right, something's not adding up. That is always right. When you feel that, it's telling you something, and it's never wrong. They are lying. Narcissists lie. They lie like a cheap rug on the floor. They lie, and they will lie about lying, and they will continue to lie even when you have black and white proof in your hand. They will still lie. And it's so frustrating because when you just want somebody to know, hey, your goose is cooked. I know you've been lying. Here's the proof. Now fess up. And, you just want that relief of knowing that at least you're getting the truth, as painful as it may be. They're not going to give you that. They're not going to give you that. Even if they give you bits and pieces of the truth, it's never going to be the full truth. It will be the bits and pieces that benefit them. It will be the bits and pieces that they want you to know, maybe the bits and pieces that they think you may already know, but they're not going to give you the full truth because they don't have that type of integrity. They don't have a moral compass or a conscience to know that they should be, at a minimum, giving you honesty as a partner. So maybe you have proof that he went out to lunch with another girl, but he could be sleeping with her. He's not going to tell you that. He's only going to cop to what he thinks that you already know. And even then, it's going to be a really watered down version of the truth. He's not going to say, look, this is what's going on. You deserve the truth. He's going to give you what's called trickle truth. He or she, I'm saying he because I'm a female that's dealt with a male narcissist, and I don't mean it in a sexist way. That's just been my experience, but this could be vice versa, women or men. It's called trickle truth. It's when they will give you little tiny droplets of the truth, versions of the truth, and leave out a whole bunch of the rest of the truth. And it leaves you sort of confused. It leaves you angry. It leaves you in a state of emotional turmoil because you feel like you're having to piece together a puzzle and you never have all the pieces. And it consumes you. It consumes you. Personally, in my own marriage, he was a serial cheater, and I did not know that until we were already married and had a child together. I had no idea. And when I did find out about one of his indiscretions, there were many, as I would come to find out later. But the first time I found out that he had been unfaithful on any level, he initially told me that this was an ex-girlfriend who just contacted him out of the blue and he didn't know why. That's why she was in the phone. And then it switched from, well, why can't I have friends? We're just friends. There's nothing romantic going on anymore. I can't have friends. Why are you so insecure? Then he was trying to shift it to abuse me mentally and make it seem like, rather than have him being, dishonest and having an issue with infidelity, he was trying to shine the light and make it seem like I had an issue with insecurity. Okay? And then as more stuff started coming out, because eventually I spoke to this woman, and it came out that they had a full-blown affair. He was telling her he loved her. He was going to leave his family for her. He didn't like me. He hadn't been happy for years. The same old song and dance that most married cheaters like to say. They're not happy. They're separated. They don't sleep in the same room. I could write a script for all the married cheaters. And none of it was true that he was telling her. So once her and I spoke and she shared, messages with me, screenshots with me, photos with me, and I presented those to him, it then turned from him lying that it was even going on to now he couldn't do that because I had all this proof that I was showing him. Then it turned into, well, you weren't the best partner anyways. I mean, I wasn't happy, you didn't do X, Y, and Z, so that's why this happened. If you would have been this, then I wouldn't have done that. Now, mind you, for anybody that's hearing things like that or similar things from their partner, let me just let you know, it is not okay for somebody to say those things to you. Newsflash, there are no perfect people in the world. There are no perfect partners. No matter who you get with and how compatible you are, it's two different people coming together, and you guys are always going to have some level of compromise. And we're human. We're all flawed. There's going to be something about them that gets on your nerves and something about you that gets on their nerves. And it's just life. It's relationships. It's how they are. And when you're in a committed relationship or you're married, you're supposed to be committed to that person whether or not you like them that particular day, whether or not they have flaws that you don't particularly care for. That does not give anybody the excuse to step outside of the relationship and backstab you. That's very exploitive and manipulative. Because when he was saying to me, he all of a sudden had all these complaints about me as a wife, which FYI, I had never heard before, and I felt like we had open communication. He all of a sudden had a litany of complaints about me, and I was shocked because I had never heard these complaints before, but all of a sudden that was his justification for why he was unfaithful. And if you're going through that, that is abuse, flat out abuse. If you are in a marriage or a committed relationship and that person isn't happy, as an adult, they need to sit down with you and tell you, hey, look, I'm not happy, haven't been happy for a while. These are the things that I'm not happy about. And either leave the relationship with integrity or make a commitment with you so that you guys can work on your issues together and mend the relationship. That is what you're supposed to do. in a relationship. You are not supposed to keep score of a person's flaws and everything you don't like about them and then throw the list at them when you're caught doing something wrong. That is very manipulative and it's abusive. So that's what happened in my personal situation. And I remember thinking to myself, I started to question myself, all the things he was throwing at me. Well, you don't do this, and you say this, and you do that. And, I started to take my own inventory. Oh, maybe he's right. Maybe if I was this and that, and maybe if we had a baby at the time, an infant. And so I was exhausted. I was postpartum. I had another child that was in school as well. And my husband was cheating on me. And so I felt low. I felt like, maybe because I put on 15 pounds when I was pregnant, and maybe because I didn't have time to do my hair because, I have a screaming infant who's throwing up all over me, and that's just mom life sometimes. And I started to criticize myself and blame myself, like maybe if I was this and maybe if I was that, he wouldn't have done that. But you know what, guys? Life isn't all cherries and roses and sparkly things. Okay? When you have kids, when you have a marriage, it's not always beautiful. It's not always fun. It's not always pretty. And when you're with somebody, they're supposed to accept you regardless. And if they're really unhappy about something, they're supposed to sit with you as a partner and try to work it out. Or if they don't want to be in the relationship, they need to communicate that with respect and leave with dignity. Never is it okay for somebody to leave you feeling like you're not worth it, like you're flawed and defective somehow, and that was their reason for mistreating you. The reason they mistreated you is because they're cowards. Period. It's not because you didn't do your hair. It's not because you gained weight. It's not because you lost your job. It's not because you're, getting older and you have a few wrinkles. It's not that. It's because they are cowards who always chase the next shiny thing, the next pretty young thing, the next buff muscular thing, the next whatever it is. Once they look at you and they start to view you like your shine has quote unquote worn off and now you're in the throes of real life, that becomes very boring for them. The thrill is gone for them. Now you're in the everyday, day in, day out, raising kids, paying bills. That's boring for them. They're on to the next. They're on to the next fantasy, the next thrill. That's what they live for. And once that wears off, they're done. They're on to the next. They're on to the next. And if they keep you around, which oftentimes they will, they don't want to lose their main source of supply. It's for their own personal gain. They will allow you, just like my ex-husband allowed me, to walk around feeling like everything's fine, like you guys have just a normal marriage, and then blindside you, like you've just been hit over the head with a bat. And then when you try to make sense of it all, they will blame you. They don't ever take accountability for who they are. So it's very abusive. It's very sneaky. It's very exploitive and manipulative. And you don't deserve that if you're in that situation. If somebody is unfaithful to you, if they are dishonest to you, that is not a you issue. That is a them issue. Because at a bare minimum, just for being a human being in a partnership, in a committed relationship, you deserve the truth. At a minimum, that is the minimum level of respect that you should be able to get from, especially from someone who vowed to love you. Okay? So if they're being dishonest, if they're cheating on you, if they're criticizing your looks, first of all, I would invite them to look in the mirror, just because oftentimes the very people that are criticizing you aren't looking tip-top shape themselves. I remember thinking that about my ex-husband while he was criticizing every little thing about me to justify his infidelities. And one day I just sat there like, you know what? He has changed. We all change as we get older. Our physical appearance changes. In my case, I had 2 children. Your body changes. That's just life. That doesn't mean you're no longer worthy of a faithful partner. So, he's changed. He's gained weight. He's got a beer belly. He's got gray hair. He's got things that he's not a young spring chicken anymore either. But I never even crossed my mind to run out and look for something better, So it's not about you or your looks. Looks declining is a part of life. Okay, we can do things, sure, to try and stop the aging process. Plastic surgery, creams and anti-age, of course. If you want to keep yourself up, there's nothing wrong with that. But aging is a part of life. Your body changing because you've had children is a part of life. And that's it. You need somebody who's going to support that, who's going to tell you you're beautiful no matter how you look, or what weight you may have gained, or maybe your hair's in a messy bun today and your infant has just thrown up all over you and you're still beautiful. That's what you need. Not somebody who's going to go, oh, look she's slipping. She didn't do her hair today and that's why I cheated. Who needs to live in a relationship where they feel like if they don't perform like a circus animal, they're going to get cheated on? That's not a way to live. It's not okay for anybody to have you in that position. So if you are in that position, my dear, I want you to know you don't deserve that. You do not deserve that. You don't have to be your best every day to have somebody to love you unconditionally. Period. You don't have to do that. You are not a circus animal that performs on command when they want something, when they want sex, when they want you to look pretty, when they want you to cook and clean or do something that is self-serving for them. And if you don't do it, you're going to sit there worried that maybe he'll go get someone else to do it. That's not a way to live, and it's not okay for you to be treated like that. I'm here to tell you. If no one else has told you, I'm here to tell you that's not okay for you to feel that way or be treated like that, ever. Okay? So don't let them lie to you and tell you that the reason that they are cheating on you, the reason that they aren't romantic anymore, the reason that they speak a certain way to you is because you look this way, or you didn't cook enough, or you didn't do this enough, or you whatever. It's not that. It's their inability to be decent human beings. Because when we have issues with another person, as human beings will, that's part of life, you're supposed to either stay away from that person, or if you're in a relationship and you care about the person, you're supposed to address it with communication. Open, honest communication. You don't use people's human flaws as an excuse to abuse them. Okay? So if you're in this situation, please continue to listen to my videos. I'm going to give you all of my personal experience, all of my knowledge, all the advice, and all the encouragement that I can give you. Even if it helps just one person, that's all that matters. Because I'm on the other end of healing now from narcissistic abuse, but it's been decades worth of having a narcissistic parent and then a narcissistic spouse. And now that I'm on the other end of it, I feel like it's my duty to try to help people who are not as far along the healing path as I am now. To try to say, hey, there's hope over here. Just keep going. Take one more step. It's okay. I'm here to help guide you. Let me be the light that helps guide you. I'm one of the ones that made it out of this abusive hellhole. Because let me tell you, not everybody makes it out. Not everybody makes it out. And some people make it out and they're never the same. Some people are physically abused and never make it out. So, because I'm one of the ones that has made it out of the situation and come out on the other end, I feel like it's my duty to help guide people through this hellhole that narcissists love to put you through, and try to help as many people as I can to the other side. I feel like it's part of my purpose on this earth, that I was put here to go through certain things, come out of these things, and then help other people get through them. I really feel like that's part of my life's purpose. I'm grateful that I made it out onto the other side. It was very grueling. It almost killed me. It caused a lot of physical ailments, mental, emotional, anxiety, depression, a ton of grief, lots of anger, cognitive dissonance, you name it. I basically went through an emotional shitstorm for probably 5 years. And that was my awakening during that 5 years. It was the most painful experience I've ever had in my life, ever. I felt like on some days I just wanted to curl up in a ball and die. And for those of you, I'm going to also put this little tidbit out there for you, because I know that there's such a stigma on mental health. If you're in this situation or any abusive situation and you feel like you want to die, but you know you have kids to live for, you're not alone. There's nothing flawed about you. There's nothing quote unquote wrong or dysfunctional about you. I have been there. I have felt like I just want to die. I want this to end. I can't do this anymore. I can't feel this anymore. I can't be in this much pain anymore. I knew that I wasn't going to do anything to take my own life. I didn't ever feel like I was actually suicidal. I knew I had 2 kids and that I was never going to leave them behind by my own accord. I just couldn't. It wasn't ever my intention to take my own life, so I don't feel like I was suicidal on that level, but I did feel so much despair that I felt like I just didn't even want to be here. I wasn't going to do anything about it because I had kids and I'm not leaving my kids behind to be around these jerks same jerks that have abused me. But I did feel on several occasions that it wasn't even worth it. Like, why am I even here? What does it all mean? What is it all for? So if you're feeling that and you're ashamed to even speak that out into the universe because you don't want people to think you're crazy or unstable, I just want you to know I'm not crazy and I'm not unstable, and I have felt those things on several occasions. So you're not alone. You are not alone, and it will pass. And there is no shame in getting help. If you need to see a counselor, see a counselor. If you don't want to see a counselor, go online and watch as many videos on YouTube as you can, because that can be just as therapeutic. Go onto Facebook and join as many support groups for narcissistic abuse as you can. There's lots of help out there where you don't have to sit in front of somebody and tell your life story. So for those of you who are going through it, I'm going to be taking you on my journey of post-healing and sharing my experience with you so that everybody out there who's going through it knows you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not defective. There's nothing wrong with you, and you will get through this, and I'm here to guide you through it. I also am going to be offering coaching and advice for people who are in need of those type of things. Again, I'm not a mental health professional. It's not counseling. None of that. It's just coaching based on your individual situation and advice. So if you're interested in that, I will be offering those phone calls, or I can also offer it by email if you're uncomfortable speaking on the phone. I will leave the links down below for those options. And I hope that you guys follow along. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And, just keep chipping away at your healing. It's a one day at a time thing. It's not going to happen overnight, especially if you're still being actively abused. It's going to go even slower, but just know there's a way out. And I invite you to take a step every day towards that way out. And I will help you. I will help guide you as much as I possibly can. So please keep in mind that you are worth every bit of love and encouragement that you receive in this world. It doesn't matter what your flaws are. We're all human and we're all worthy. Just by being here on this earth, you're worthy and you are enough. Don't let anybody try to tell you anything different. You don't have to change yourself. You're beautiful just as you are. You're worthy and you are enough. Okay, guys? So stay tuned. I'm going to try to do a video probably twice a week. And again, if you're interested in coaching or advice, the links for that will be down below. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.